Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AI Educator, a micro podcast from EDSAFE AI, where we ask AI enthusiasts 3 rapid fire questions about AI implementation in education. I'm your host, Andrea Claver, project manager of EDSAFE, and today we are joined by Dr. Kimberly Williams, Director of College, Career, and Military Readiness at Richardson ISD. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kimberly. Are you ready?
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. So we'll open up with question 1. What's one thing that excites you most about the future of AI in education?
Man, when I saw that question, I was like, it's a 10-minute podcast because I've got about 10 minutes for just this one. But there's so many exciting possibilities of what could happen when we think about personalized learning. So it will definitely help us personalize at scale. And we've talked about this for decades in education, like meet those kids where they are, and those teachers got differentiated plans, and let's have different lessons, right? And this is the way that we're able to do this with less weight on our educators to be able to do a lot of those repetitive tasks. And it's going to provide them immediate feedback, differentiated explanations, targeted practice, a full personalized pathway. And that is what I am most excited about, is that the kids will be able to literally get their needs met in real time with the safety of an educator still in the room.
Absolutely. And that we all often are like, okay, personalized learning, differentiation, small words, big task. So definitely makes it more feasible. But I love what you said with the teacher oversight and just taking some of the load off them, like really giving them both the physical and cognitive ability to be there and be present with their students instead of having to, I remember running back to my computer constantly to mark this down or this, but it can really free up that time for the classroom.
Absolutely. And I don't, AI isn't the whole future, right? Like it's part of our future. It's part of the infrastructure in which we will continue to build great educational strategies and things that we do. So it's not everything coming. It will never replace the emotional connection, the warmth, the emotional intelligence that our educators bring. And we have to have that because we seek human connection. So fortunately, they can't do that for us no matter how much they try. So people over programs, but this is a program that I hope really sticks because it will benefit a lot of kids.
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect segue into question number 2 here. What's the biggest misconception you hear about the safe and responsible use of AI in school?
I think, we're kind of scared. I would like to proudly put myself in the Gen X population. And I work with a couple of, boomers, Gen Xers, Gen Zers. And there's definitely a fear around what it could be. But remember, education, we have tackled every industrial revolution, if you will, every technology advancement that has come so far. Calculators, smartphones, like you name it, we've tackled it. And this will be another thing that we tackle as well, right? It's a lot bigger because our technology has increased so drastically from then. But I think it's about creating safe guardrails. It's about literacy and education. It's about teaching someone how to use it responsibly. Because if we just say hands off and we're just not going to do it, right? They're going to do it anyway. You were a kid once. I know you think you're supposed to do. Yeah. So it's going to happen anyway. And it's one of those things where we were like, calculators would never work, or smartphones, or the internet. But now is a huge part of how we teach kids and incorporate instructional strategies and good pedagogy. So fear around the unknown, but I think that I think we're on the right track. This can really work if we put some good safety guardrails in place to support our students and teachers.
Absolutely. And keep having conversations like this to continue pushing it forward in that responsible way. If anything, as educators, we're resilient and we know how to push things forward. And we just got to keep those conversations going in the right direction.
I agree. And we're not going to get it right away, right? Because wisdom takes time. shiny new things happen all the time, but to grow a wisdom around it, that's going to take time. And when kids can outmaneuver us in some areas in regards to like AI, because they are not as afraid of it and they're well into it. So I think it's just going to take a little bit of that exposure for us, but we can do it.
Absolutely. So I'm going to round it out here with our final question here, some insights for our educators. What's a message you would share with a teacher or a school leader who's feeling overwhelmed by the rapid pace of AI development?
I know. It is going, isn't it? One of the things that I would say is that it can have an ability to be overwhelming, almost to like, I don't know where to start. But what I would suggest is creating something small for it to do for you personally. So maybe you give it a couple of ingredients and say, what can I make with ground beef that's not spaghetti? What can it read, because I love thriller and I've literally have read everything by Stephen King. So, like start with small for yourself. And then once you begin to understand what it's designed to do, how it can help, how you can put your own safety guardrails in it to say, don't be so agreeable with me, AI, you challenge me. And they're like, got you. So I think that we start small with ourselves and we create personal tasks for ourselves. And because as a teacher, say, here's my lesson, give me some differentiation strategies. Here's my lesson, help create an exit ticket and just see what it produces. And once you begin to see that a lot of those repetitive tasks that teachers are doing can be lifted and given to them and then checked eye on by a human, then I think that teachers will begin to better understand like, okay, all right, I can do this, right? But I think there's so much fear around students' misuse that we forget to say, how can I use it to help me every day? Because we're too busy trying to protect the kids from using it and, not ruining, their GPA and things like that. So I think we kind of forget about that piece for our own self-development and reflection.
I'm going to take that as like a mic drop moment there. Just start small and figure out how it can work for you and then grow from there. Awesome. I love that insight. So there you have it, everyone. 3 quick questions and a wealth of information to mull over. Join us next time where we put another AI enthusiast in the hot seat.